Welcome back to the bench and the bleachers. As always, I'm your host, Keenan Dragaskis, joined by my co-host Alex Tanaka, who's just thrown on his hat there for the recording today. Biggest news of the week. Lots happened, but nothing big. Obviously, nothing bigger than this. Wander Franco getting sentenced to 2 years in Dominican Republic jail for illegal acts towards a minor, sex trafficking, fun stuff.
Whoa,
Not
whoa,
fun
no.
stuff.
Nothing about that is fun, Keenan.
No, I know.
That's just I can't even believe that you would say something like that.
I thought he would get more.
Yeah, but you gotta consider where this trial is being held. It's in the Dominican
True,
Republic.
true.
I think the development that was the most interesting to me was the mother of the child who's at the center of all this got 10 years because she trafficked her daughter.
Yes.
Like completely knowingly. And from what I've read, you know, Franco apparently didn't know the age, but apparently everybody said, well, everybody else did. So bit of willful blindness going on there. Yeah,
It,
just
14, it's also 14. It's
yeah,
not
it's
like
14,
she's
right? Like
it's
it's
not like
14.
she's legal age in a couple months. There's some years there, buddy.
Would that
You
make it
you
okay?
got you got to know better.
Yeah, no, no. Wander Franco needs to realize he has a lot to lose here, but he is 100% this is his fault. Like this
Yes.
is like you had the world in your palm, and to be brought down by this is really tragic. So, and from what I've read too, it's also going to be like a commuted sentence. I don't know if commuted is the right word, but it's almost going to be like probation. So I don't know how much of a jail cell he's even going to see. At least the mother's going to be going to jail for pimping out her own daughter. I know
Yeah.
it sounds kind of blasé, but that's what happened. That's what she did.
Yeah,
So
literally what happened.
yeah, pretty
And didn't see a
disgusting.
problem with it
Pretty
like at all.
disgusting on all fronts. Pretty disgusting on all fronts. You feel sorry for the kid, not Franco, the actual kid. Um, but yeah, pretty nasty stuff. He can go be teammates with Trevor Bauer.
Will Japan let him play there?
He's Bauer ain't playing in Japan either. He just got demoted because he
He's still
sucks.
in Japan. He's just in their minor leagues.
Yeah. Hey, but Keenan, he still thinks he's one of the best pitchers in the world.
Yeah.
After having a league worst ERA, to which his agent's like, yeah, he's pitched the most inning and has the most strikeouts. He's not getting like enough outs. Like that's the most American thing I think I've ever seen and represents why America is losing ground in baseball. They're like, well, he's got the most strikeouts in innings
Yeah.
pitched. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's awesome. Does he get outs? Well, he gets a lot of
Well, here's
strikeouts.
the thing. He throws hard.
I don't even know if he does anymore. He was a spider tack merchant. I'll die on that hill.
Yeah. On to some much nicer news. The rest of this will be because you can't be any worse than that. Skeens and Mizorowski, it was middle of a Wednesday, 3 p.m. Milwaukee time. It was a sellout. 42,000 plus in Milwaukee to watch that pitcher's duel. Mizorowski showed up. Skeens went 4 innings, 4 earned runs. But if Skeens is in town, you're not going to just go and not buy a ticket. This is still wild for the time that the game was at, and it really shows that baseball is making great strides, promoting their young players and bringing in fans anywhere. Revenue's gone up, the attendance has gone up, ratings have gone up everywhere, and
Yeah.
it shows it. 3 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Yeah, and I think Skeens now, I think we're at the point where he's one of the biggest stars in America in
Yeah.
terms of sports. Because to me, like, I was actually, I'm going to take this to basketball now. I saw like Magic Johnson on First Take like 2 weeks ago, and he's like, my definition of a superstar is someone who can sell out like another team's arena, and
Hmm.
that's Paul Skeens. When Paul
Yeah.
Skeens is pitching, it's a sellout. And I don't think there's really any, him and Otani are like one and two. Like,
Judge is up there as well.
yeah, but does Judge sell out a stadium, or is it the Yankees are in town and we're gonna
That's
let
fair.
Waldron
That's
go?
also,
I
that's
just
fair. But you could
and
say the
because
same Dodgers, but
Dodgers too, yeah, fair. But Skeens right now is the guy who you want to go and see play
yeah.
because it's a pitcher one in every 5 games. That's a bit more. It's a bit more special. But there aren't a lot of guys like that in a lot of sports where like I'm trying to think about like in America, like in hockey, there's McDavid, probably McDavid and maybe Crosby, Ovechkin, but they're a bit older now. Basketball, Curry and LeBron would pretty much be it for me. Maybe like Giannis, try like Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen for football, and like Skeens is in that list now, which is good for
Yep.
baseball
Yep.
because there hasn't been someone like that in baseball probably since like the height of the steroid era. Like, in terms of must watch, like if he's
Mike
coming to
Trout,
your town,
maybe?
hey,
Mike Trout?
I don't need. I
Early
think
2010s?
Trout was great, but he wasn't like this. Where like Mike Trout isn't selling out like Milwaukee on June 30th. Like
Well, I
I
think
just
there's also a difference though, is that it's
I know
Skeens
because
is every 5 days. Like he's not out
yeah, he's
there.
a power pitcher too, and he's popular. He's got a popular girlfriend. Like he's very marketable.
Hmm.
Almost maybe like when do you remember like when Bryce Harper broke in and that was huge.
Yeah.
Like, but he's the closest thing. I think I think he's the biggest baseball star since Barry Bonds probably. Maybe A Rod. But yeah, which is just good for baseball as you said. But
Oh, 100%.
I just
Now we'll
think it's
see if
very important to
Pittsburgh will
know how
capitalize
much
on
how
this.
much impact he actually has though. I think it's important to note like how much he actually has like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we haven't seen this in 20 years in like for baseball and I think it's very significant.
Yeah, we'll
And
just
he's
see.
not doing yeah, and he's not doing this for like the Dodgers or like the Giants, like a story franchise. He's doing this for Pittsburgh.
And Pittsburgh's a mess right now.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is I mean O'Neal Cruz wants out. Like
I
they're
mean,
big
can we
young
blame
short
him? Can we blame him? You can't blame him for wanting out. You can blame him for how he's doing it.
what by not trying?
At all?
Yeah, he's doing his best BJ Upton impersonation, I
Yeah.
guess.
There's
Like,
no public announcement of like, hey man, I need to change the scenery. It was just, I'll just boot balls in center
no,
field
it
and
was pretty
walk
much just like let
around.
me play like a complete asshole until they get the message. But he
Yeah.
hit 2 homers a couple days ago, so I don't know. Um, I just think look, is O'Neal Cruz good enough to check out this quickly? Like, are we sure
I think
he's
so.
this good?
He's on pace for 30-60.
Yeah, we'll see. I've been.
If
I
you
mean,
get him
he's
out of Pittsburgh, he's doing that easily.
yeah. I don't know where you take like who needs him.
Houston,
Yeah, well, because
Pe-
Pena's hurt too.
Pena's
Yeah,
gone.
and they can use a
Houston, and
lefty.
they'll pull some straws for that.
That is, I mean, I just don't know who has the assets and the need. Like that's a tough list to find someone who can.
Seattle,
Seattle, no fucking way Seattle can pull this off.
they
I
have
would,
so many prospects.
and they never trade any of them. They like to keep the farm system nice and stocked.
I'm just saying, you asked me who has
That's
what
very
it
true.
takes. They
But
do have
okay,
what it takes.
I'm sorry. I'll rephrase my question. Who has the organizational competency to pull
Not
this off?
Seattle.
Not Seattle, not the Mariners. I actually really like Houston. I think that's a good shout. Um, would saying Cleveland is that ridiculous?
Would
Just
Cleveland make a splash like that?
I,
That
if
doesn't
they're
seem
going
like
to
a
it now,
Cleveland
because
thing
Stephen
to
Vogt
do.
said we need to get going,
That's true. That
and
is true.
they have some young guys. Like I don't know if they want to give up on what's the kid Rocchio. I don't know if they want to give up on him, but maybe
Yeah.
swap him and add in something else. I don't know. I just don't think it'd be the craziest thing ever. I'm just like in terms of organizational competence, I could see them swinging because Cleveland will make moves. I don't
Hmm.
know if they'll make them this big, but there's just not a lot
Texas
of
will
teams like
swing. The Rangers would,
Texas.
100% the Rangers would swing.
Who you
That's a
giving up?
Rangers thing right
But do
there.
you want to give up like one of the studs though for him? Like, are you going to give up Carter or Langford?
That you're not giving up either of those for O'Neal
Well,
Cruz.
then
I
who's
think
the
that's
asset? Who's the
a
big
little
asset?
too much to ask for from coming from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it if we think Cruz is this good? I feel like Evan Carter wouldn't be a ridiculous ask.
I don't think I wouldn't think Texas does that, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if they're a
Or
call.
Atlanta.
No, I don't
Yeah,
think
I
they're
just
buying.
again I can't think of a team who has the asset. Like, you know what? If they want to move him, what about Washington? If they
Would
want to change Evan
Washington bring
Fisher's
him in right now?
he fits their timeline, but he's
But
gonna he might want to.
do they want? Are they in the situation where they want to give things up?
I think they are for O'Neal Cruz. I think this is my one thing with rebuilds that I don't think enough teams do is spend your assets in a rebuild. Like
Yeah,
because everybody likes to hold and add and tinker and then trade for your final piece. No, get O'Neal Cruz now. Like go and get him now. Like I don't know if they could pull it off, but I'll be interested to see if this actually goes anywhere.
yeah.
But we'll
I
see.
mean,
I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with him where he could even go. Like you know what, Boston.
that would be such a odd, such a
Well, 'cause
Boston thing
remember
to
what
do.
fucking Breslow said when he's like, "Oh, I think we're gonna win more games."
Yeah,
You
they're
could
4-8.
They, yeah, and they've been like I think the lowest run scoring team since ever's been traded. So figure that
Yeah,
out. You need
this
offense, call it.
knocking around Chase Burns today though.
Wow, if it's just like it was it is like his second start, his debut.
Scored
Like,
7 on him. He only got 1 out. That's
oh,
bad.
that's I feel you feel bad for the kid.
Yeah. Hey, his first start was good though.
Yeah, so that's fine.
Yep.
The Mets are terrible.
Yeah. You said this was just a skid. Is it just a skid still? Or are
Yeah, it's
they
still a
like,
skid.
3 and
It's not
12? That's like top 10, top 5 teams, which is what we thought the Mets
actually.
were for a
You know
while. They
what?
don't
It's
do
more than a
this.
skid. Do you know what elevates it to being more than a skid?
What?
A players only meeting.
Yeah. And
Like
that's
that
what
is
happened.
like that is the bed and house are on fire.
Yeah.
That's like what you're at. Like that's like if it's a players only meeting, like wh how does that meeting go? Hey guys, we need to start hitting and pitching better because that's pretty much it.
Hey guys, everything's falling apart.
Yeah, well, it's not like I'm. This is just a reality. It's not like the coaches are really to blame or to be praised. Like
Yeah.
they can make some. Like are you going to say, hey guys, like we need to start changing our approach on 2-2 counts against lefties who throw a sweeper? Like that's not what you talk about. You just got to figure out how you get shit done. But I think just send the message of the status quo isn't acceptable. We should be one of the top three teams in the National League, and we're 3-12 in our last 15.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
can't.
you get swept by Pittsburgh.
They got outscored 30-4 by Pittsburgh, I think.
Yeah, they scored 4 runs in Pittsburgh. You went up against. You didn't go up
I'm
against
going
Paul
apoplectic
Skeens.
thinking about it. It's the most Mets thing ever, though, isn't it? Like they
It
start out
is.
well and just.
You sold me on them too. I was ready
I
to
did
call 'em.
sell you. I did sell you. I would just say hold on. We've seen the Mets break late in the season, though.
It's the Mets. They are a question mark
The
until
Mets are
they
the
win it
ultimate.
all.
You know what they are?
They're a wild card.
Yeah, they're the ultimate wild card. You have
They
no
are.
fucking clue what you're gonna get.
That's MLB's wild card right there. The New York Mets. Over in the American League, I've talked very highly of him. Ron Washington likely done managing for the year with an illness that hasn't been fully reported because this is the Angels. They won't tell you what's wrong with someone, but it's sad to see because he was doing a really good job with this Angels team. Managed them up to 500 with the assets that they had is insane. You just hope that he gets healthy.
Yeah.
You don't want to see.
He got a lot of buy-in. He
Yeah,
got a lot of buy-in from that group, which is saying something because it's a lot of guys who are pretty much playing to try and get traded, and a lot of kids who kind of suck.
yeah, and they're
So
like a game out of the wild card right now, which
yeah,
is
which is pretty incredible,
crazy.
right? I will say pretty incredible that he's been able to do that. So
This is
and
what a good
you
manager
speak
does.
as a huh?
This is what a good manager does. This is 100% just the fundamentals of baseball that's just being pounded into this
Oh,
Angels team.
I'm a Blue Jay fan, Keenan. I don't know what good fundamentals are. Okay,
No, I
don't
know you've got Schneider running whatever he's doing over there.
not a whole fucking lot. I'll be honest with you, not a whole lot. He kind of I don't really know what he does. I don't know what he does. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what he does.
Mess up the bullpen. That's what he does.
Yeah, he I say it every week. He couldn't manage a lemonade stand. Complete moron.
Yeah, Walker Bueller, he is
Horrible.
struggling.
He stinks.
He has been worse pretty much every outing. Can't get out of the first inning. Multiple runs in the first inning, way too many times. His ERA on the year is up to 6.45, and the Red Sox tried to give him a 3-year deal before the season started. Bueller wanted to
That
bet
was a
on
question
himself.
mark as soon as it was signed.
They both look bad
Well,
right
they
now.
both look like idiots.
They
I
both
actually know
look like
Walker
idiots.
Buehler looks like a genius for signing a 3-year deal, but
No, they didn't sign the 3-year deal. He wanted to bet on himself and chose a
oh
1-year deal.
yeah, no, you're right.
So they both look like idiots. He could have had the bag. He
Yeah,
could have walked away with millions more dollars, but he bet on himself and it did not pan out.
I mean, he was quite candid. He said, I'm fighting for my place in the game, not just the team," which
Well,
is
he is.
very, huh?
He
Which
is
he is.
100%.
Yeah, like you don't. He may get an invite to camp next year, but I mean, if he rocks a 7 ERA the rest of the year
Yeah.
and
He'll
can't
have to
get his shit together and fix it, he's done.
he'll
Like
have
there's
to
just
come
too
out of
much
the
on the line.
All-Star break with much better numbers.
Yeah, I don't see a road back. I just don't see a road back for him.
No, it looks like Tommy John got the better of him.
Yeah, and that happens sometimes with Tommy John. It's not always like, oh, he's gonna get Tommy John, he'll be back. And no, some guys don't ever really get better.
Yeah. Um, James Wood, though, we've talked about him very highly many times. First player to be intentionally walked 4 times in one game, and this was by the Angels, probably Washington's last command before hanging out in the stands for the rest of the game. First time this happened to someone since Barry Bonds in 2004. That's great company.
That is, anytime you're mentioned in a "this hasn't happened since Barry Bonds," life's pretty good.
Life is pretty good.
Because his power is just, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's maybe one of the most feared hitters in that division, maybe the most right now because of how hot he is, like him and Acuna. But he's a real problem. And once he gets more protection around him in the lineup, holy shit, he's gonna hit 50 home runs one day.
Yeah. I took a look at the box score too. It was first 2 at bats were actual at bats, and then his last 4 to end the game were all intentional walks, 2 of them in extra innings. Angels
Yeah,
did
you just
not want to throw to him.
they do not want him to swing the bat, which is fair enough. He's the best
That's
hitter.
we would not have seen this if Ron Washington was not the manager of the Angels
A
team.
100%
They
no.
would have just thrown to him.
Who's the interim manager in LA?
I don't know.
And the answer, no matter what you say, is I'm 90% sure going to be Artie Moreno's lapdog, but I don't know. They're just a bit of a rudderless mess. But you know what? Good for James Wood. He's doing his part in this whole rebuild, but it's tough to say that others are.
Yeah, him, Mackenzie Gore, C.J. Abrams. You got the.
Literally just the
We talked
one.
about it last week. You got
I
your
had a whole
faces.
rant about this last week. The Nats are still Juan Soto and friends.
Yeah,
So it's just the pieces they acquired for Soto.
yeah. Trade deadline's coming up in a month from now, so we're going to start looking at some rumors. Cubs looking to add some pitching. Edward Cabrera, Sandy Alcantara, Mitch Keller. Some starting pitching. Pirates are a fire sale.
I think
Mitch
Keller
could
makes the most sense.
definitely use a change of scenery. I think
Yeah.
he's got like a good low 4, high 3 ERA and is like 2-12 on the season.
Just
Obviously,
a
wins
rock.
and losses don't
Like
matter, but it
Mitch
just
Keller's the
shows.
steady,
Yeah,
steady high 4, low 3.
yeah.
That's where that's.
You
I
know
think
what you're
that's
getting out of him? A
yeah,
solid 5-6 innings. I think he's got
yeah.
like the
You
most
know what?
quality
That's
starts
not
in the
nothing.
MLB.
Yeah, he's just rock solid.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like the deadline isn't really to me, by like high risk, high reward. You want just sure things.
Yes.
Like those big swings are luxuries. Like they're kind of like they're a bit exotic. But Mitch Keller is about as safe as it comes. The guy's an absolute rock.
Yeah, the MLB lead for quality starts is 13. Mitch Keller has 11.
Yeah,
It
like
just shows you are getting someone who will consistently allow 2-3 runs, but the Cubs score like 4 or 5 runs every game.
yeah,
They're the best
it
offense right
makes
now.
so much sense. It just
It
makes
does.
so much sense for the Cubs.
And yeah, I think he's still under contract for a couple years too. And
Yeah, well,
it's the
because do
Pirates.
you remember in the offseason, we were like, wow, they extended Keller. Look at the
Yeah, I
Pirates.
think that was a couple years ago.
No, that was this offseason they extended Keller.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought it
yeah.
was a few years ago.
No, so they extended Keller, and I remember you and I were talking. We were like, yeah, man,
Oh,
Skeens.
before the
Jared-
2024 season, he got a 5-year deal.
Yeah, we were like, man, Skeens, Jared Jones, Mitch Keller. Wow, this is pretty good. Still shit. Still complete shit. That's my assessment of the Pirates.
That's a perfect assessment.
Thank you.
Astros looking to add Mullins.
He
Yeah,
makes so much sense. He
it
makes
does.
so much sense for them.
He's a
Lefty
solid
bat,
bat.
veteran. He's an Astro. He just feels like an Astro. Is he the new Michael Brantley for them? Do you think?
They got to get him first.
Well, I mean, maybe he'll probably end up there. Them, or who did I say? Kansas City.
Yeah, you said Kansas is
I don't know if they're gonna be
they're
buying.
fading.
I don't know if the thing is though in the Central, everybody keeps losing. No one wants second place. No one's like they're all trying to fucking finish in fifth.
Yeah.
Twins are a disaster.
Everyone else other than Detroit was an 11.5 game lead. Everyone
Yeah,
else has fallen below 500. The Twins, Guardians, and Royals were all above 500 at points, but they're just falling apart.
well, the whole division's a joke outside of the Tigers. When
Yeah,
really
who are a legit contender.
World Series threat.
Yes.
They're a World Series threat. Let's just, yeah, they are. You're right, Keenan. Oh, Keenan wants his weekly praise, guys. Hey, guys, Keenan to the Tigers are going to be good 2 years ago. Let's all say, ah, thanks, Keenan. Okay,
That
we're
was
done.
that was the call of the century. I'll never top that.
Century. Wow.
I'll never top that.
Okay. I mean, the Reds, man, something
They're
special.
heating up.
They're doing okay. Think we'll take it back to negative a little bit here. The White Sox fan who heckled Ketel Marte about his dead mom. That guy's a piece of shit.
Yep.
He's banned indefinitely, but that guy's a piece of shit. 22 years old, and he's heckling a grown man about his dead mom. Fuck you. That's my
Some
message.
people forget that athletes in whatever sport, they're humans too.
Yeah, I just
Like just
I
because they're on
don't
the
know.
field
I don't
doesn't
know what
mean
like what possesses you to do that. I don't understand.
alcohol.
That's no excuse, but
It's
I
not an
know what you
excuse,
mean.
but it
I know what you mean.
possesses
Yeah,
you
yeah.
to do
Well,
that.
yeah, this guy's probably a piece of shit. Wish we knew his name so we could cancel him on Twitter. I would definitely join the angry mob. But no, like this is disgusting. It's good to see that he's banned indefinitely, which pretty much just means permanently to me. Uh, yeah, get this guy out of here. I think fans help point him out, which is good. Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be an asshole at games.
Some things are
Respect,
just wrong.
yeah, respect the players, respect the game.
Yeah. Um, Over in Sacramento, the A's, they're they're getting really worked up to trading Severino because he's constantly bashing the Sacramento atmosphere, calling it like playing in a minor league stadium.
You blame the
Home
guy?
stats are 0-7 with a 6.79 ERA. You didn't get traded here. You chose to sign with them.
Yeah, he knew what he was getting into. I could completely understand this if Severino gets traded in the offseason, but you were like one of the marquee signings of the offseason. You knew what the facility was going to look like. You knew
Yeah.
what they were trying to do here. You knew that you were a stopgap, so why are you now complaining? Like don't complain when you get what you were shown. Like I don't get
Yeah.
that at all. Like
Hey, we're
it's
gonna be playing in a AAA stadium this year.
buddy, that's like buying a
Thanks for
house.
thanks for willingly joining us.
It's like when people buy a fucking house and are like, "Oh, the house sucks," or like driving a car off the lot after a test drive and
Yeah.
being like, "Oh, okay, I want to return it." No, it's not how this works. This is stupid. Like,
You test drove it and then decided to buy it. You signed with Sacramento and then chose to bash it.
yeah,
You played in the minor leagues. Everyone played in the minor leagues. You know what a minor league stadium is like. You know what the facilities are like.
well, he's saying it's like it's a AAA stadium, so yeah, the guy does know what the minors are.
Yeah.
What moron? Complete moron.
Yeah. Let's move into the pitching matchups.
Draw from last week because Keenan and I both had a guy get replaced, so we're gonna
Yeah.
call it a draw. But we're gonna move on though because we're still tied 4-4.
You got someone starting tomorrow, so let's assume there's no push. No one gets
No,
pushed.
not gonna get pushed. I got Jack Flaherty and Trevor Williams tomorrow.
Solid, solid.
That's
I've got
just two rock
Yusei
solid dudes.
Kikuchi. Sorry?
It's just two rock solid guys. I'm just taking
Yep.
steady guys who know how to pitch in the major league level.
That's exactly what I went for. Yusei Kikuchi and Grant Holmes. Two guys who are having very under the radar years this year.
Gucci's been good.
Grant Holmes has been surprisingly good. I thought this would be a spot starter until Strider got back. He has earned his spot in the Braves rotation.
I mean,
Constantly,
the guy now who you can from that rotation's Elder, right? Like,
you can't cancel. Like, Sale's gone now too, though. That's the thing.
oh, true. Yeah, you can't even look to really replace Elder.
Chalvers got Tommy John surgery. Reynaldo Lopez is out for the year, and the pitching
Yeah.
is still good.
I mean, you guys are gonna make the playoffs anyways, though.
No,
So
the season
does
is
that make,
over.
I don't know if that makes you feel better, but the season's not over. Hey, man, dude, you say that now, but I know in like a couple weeks if they go like 8-2, you're gonna be like, we're so fucking back.
We're gonna be 2 games above 500 at the trade deadline. Not trade anyone.
You're not going to be no. Okay, hey, don't worry about that. You're not going to be above 500 at the trade deadline.
Let me have my hypothetical,
Okay, I'm sorry.
and then still miss the playoffs.
Yeah, you guys, that's not going to happen.
It's the hole's too deep, Anthopoulos. You gotta sell what you can.
Yeah, I don't think you guys will.
No,
I think you'd be like low key buyers.
that's what that's what they've done like the past couple years. They're not big buyers. They just
And Anthopoulos is a big run differential guy, and you guys are up there. So if you start winning,
That's
we'll
true.
see.
That is true. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter when you're.
When
What
you
are
keep
they
7
now?
games below 500.
7 games. Yeah, 7 games below 500.
All right, should we
Michael
jump into the
Harris.
standings? We keep talking about records.
I just wanted to add one more thing. Michael Harris has the worst OPS in the MLB.
Rookie phenom, kind of a one-hit wonder in my opinion.
He has fallen a lot. But yeah, let's get into
Yeah,
the standings.
let's start with the
Take it away.
American League East. Hey, we always do that. 48 and 35 New York Yankees, still rolling, still rock steady. Tampa Bay Rays, 47 and 37. I know Diaz said they felt like they're the best team in baseball. I wouldn't say that, but they're playing pretty well. They got a great run differential. The Jays, 45 and 38, just finding ways to win baseball games. Kind of, a little bit unsteady now, but if they can add at the deadline, I think they're a serious contender to maybe win a playoff game, hopefully. The Red Sox are 41 and 44, absolutely slumping, capitulating since the Devers trade, and the Orioles were DOA. They were dead upon arrival at 36 and 47.
Yeah.
Completely down.
If the Blue Jays make the playoffs and don't win a playoff game again, is Schneider gone?
If the Jays don't win a playoff round, John Schneider's fired.
So that's the bar in your mind?
It has to be.
It
It
should
has
be.
to be. It,
Did
it
you
might not be.
see did you see the stat where 3 of the last 4 years they've been 44 and 37?
Really?
Yeah.
That's just the Blue Jay way, hey?
It is. You're just this is like winning 54% without telling them you're going to win
Yeah, that's maybe
54% of
Schneider
games.
should be the next Mariners manager. Him and DePoto will be best buddies. Let's win like Schneider does just enough to not get fired.
Does
Worst
he though? He should have been fired like
he's
3
not
years
been
ago.
fired though. He's not been fired, so we can't say he should he
Yeah,
should be
okay.
fired. John Schneider should have been fired every season the past 3 off seasons. I'm sorry, he should have been.
Every season you can look back and go, John Schneider lost us a lot of games this year.
I wouldn't let John Schneider walk me down the street. He'd fuck that up.
All
Like
right.
really, dude. If John Schneider was like, if you're drunk and you're like, oh, get me in the back of an Uber, he'd push you in front of a bus. Like he has that kind of effect on people.
And he
Hey,
wouldn't get arrested.
no, he wouldn't. He'd blame you.
All right. National League East. Couple of changes in this division. Obviously, Philly's on top now with the Mets completely falling apart. They're 49 and 35. They just got Harper back. See if that puts any momentum into this team that's always been a team built off of momentum. New York Mets 3-7 in their last 10. I think you said it was a 3-12 stretch.
Yeah,
Drops them to 48 and
there was at a certain point a 3-12 stretch.
Okay. Yeah, drops them to 48 and 37. Atlanta, on the other hand, couldn't capitalize on the New York Mets blunders. In fact, they lost 2 games to them in their recent series. They're 38 and
That's the
45.
most Braves thing ever, hey? Even when the
What?
Mets suck, you guys still lose to them.
We're 7-2 against them on the season.
Doesn't
Or
matter.
six
They're
and
10
two.
game, they went 3-12, and they're still 10 games above you.
That's fine. They won't win the World Series.
Oh, you really feel that confident? Hey, wow. Keenan, I would not say that. I mean, knock on wood, but
They're the Mets.
I don't
Uh,
know.
Atlanta, 38 and 45. Miami jumping above Washington, 37 and
Huge win streak
45.
for the Marlins. 7 games.
7 game winning streak. Yeah, going into San Fran and Arizona, 2 teams that needed wins and sweeping both of them, and
Huge.
still having one of their players have a temper tantrum on the field.
I didn't see that. What's that? What's that about? I didn't see
He
that.
struck out, smashed his bat over the knees, slammed both pieces into the ground and the helmet. Team won the game.
Who is this?
I don't remember. You'd
Oh,
think they
okay,
were
Especially the Marlins.
37 and 45 or something with the way
Yeah,
he's
that's
acting.
brutal. They are 37 47. That's actually a really funny joke, Keenan.
Yeah, I know. Washington 35 and 49. Yeah, they've just
Still just Juan Soto and friends.
It was
It's
supposed
still-
to be a fun rebuild year, and it's not looking fun
Okay,
anymore.
the rebuild's not going well. Can I say
No,
that?
it
The
is
rebuild's
not.
going very well. I
Keeper
feel like
Ruiz is like one of the worst catchers in the league.
we all just think it's going well because James Wood's doing good,
Yeah,
but they're not doing well. Like I'll say this: that like the Nationals rebuild should be raising alarm bells. Like fires are going off.
it's time to you can't develop. You got the first overall pick this year again somehow, but you got to start bringing in talent through free agency.
Yeah,
You don't have the assets to trade.
No,
like major league assets to bring in more of the young players.
certainly not. Certainly not.
You got to start signing people if you want to win.
I agree. I agree. I don't know if they want to win. We'll see though.
There are a couple franchises that don't want to win. Washington's
Speaking of
getting
winning,
close to that
the
area.
Detroit Tigers are 53-32 and atop the American League Central. Second place is where it gets really weird. So the Guardians are 40-42, followed one game back by the Twins, who are 40-44, and then the Royals are 39-45. All of those teams were kind of projected to be in the mix at the end of the year. The Twins have been on a brutal stretch. The Royals just cannot hit. The Guardians cannot hit, and the White Sox are 28-56. But if any of these teams can get the bats going, they can easily sneak into a wild card spot. Easily.
Yeah. White Sox just stole 2 of 3 against San Francisco. That's a brutal home stretch for the Giants.
Well, the thing is, the White Sox pitching hasn't even been that bad. It's just been the worst offense. The pitching's not even that bad. It's
Yeah.
not like this. The offense is horrible.
Oh yeah,
But
100%.
they're not this bad.
Yeah. The White Sox took 2 games in San Francisco and still don't have 10 road wins.
Yeah. They've scored more runs than the Royals and allowed less runs than the Twins.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
More?
So
Wow.
I think I don't want to say that they're getting unlucky, but that would indicate that things are not as bad as they would seem to be.
The
So
2 worst offenses in the MLB are the Central. That
that's
can't
true.
happen if you're
Yeah.
the White.
The
If you're
Central's
the
the worst hitting
Royals.
division in the league.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
the Royals,
the AL West has been bad. The AL West cannot hit.
dude.
But
3 of the 5 lowest runs scored teams are
oh
the AL
yeah,
Central.
you know what? Yep, because I
Yeah.
realized that the A's can score runs. That's huge. Yeah, and the Mariners have been hitting a lot too. You're right. I was just going off of like last year's bias.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Central can't hit, and nobody's. It's so weird watching like these standings every week because I don't understand how any of these teams were winning games.
Because the
Like
pitching isn't that bad for
it's not
the
great though.
Guardians and the Royals.
It's great for the Royals. Their pitching's great for the Royals.
Yeah.
The offense is complete. It's one of the worst in the league, if not the worst. Like it actually, I think it is the worst. So
Yeah.
they need to figure that out and go and get Cedric
It's
Mullins.
one of those. It's gonna be one of those years you need to spend in the offseason because you
Yeah.
locked in Bobby Witt Jr. for that long contract. Your intention was to win, so you do have to spend money now.
No, they need Cedric Mullins. That's he fits so many needs. I'm sorry, he just does. It just makes so much sense. Sign Cedric Mullins,
They could.
but they won't.
National League Central though, Chicago still on top of the division. That Milwaukee and St. Louis are pressuring Cincinnati as well, but they've got to jump a few more teams. Chicago 49-35. Offense is still red hot. We'll see if they add some pitching for down the stretch. Milwaukee red hot, 8-2 in their last 10, 47-37. The switch seemed to have been flipped when Mizorowski got called up. Everything's gotten better since then. St. Louis, another team that's just winning games. They're 47-38. 403 runs scored. Offense is fine. Pitching is fine. Cincinnati 44-40. Big win, series win at home against the Padres. Just got to keep winning games. I think we shared the agreement that this is a team that's going to hover around 500 until about the midway point and either take off or collapse.
That is
We'll see what
exactly how I
happens in
feel.
July.
Yeah,
We're halfway
July
through the
is the telling
season.
month for them.
Yeah, we are halfway through the season. We will see what happens in
Like
July.
they could easily be in a wild card spot, or they could also be like 7 games back at the deadline.
Yeah.
Very easily. Like this, like these next 20 or so games are going to be huge for them. Like
Yeah, the
they,
month of July is big. It'll also tell what they're going to do at the deadline.
well, yeah, like this next month is the most important month
Yeah.
of baseball that this group has played together.
Francona didn't come here to manage an 80-win team.
He did not. No, Francona came to develop a team
Develop a
that,
winning culture.
to me, I think like if I was Francona, I'd be like they could be really fun this year. They'll be competitive next year, and the year after, we'll see what they can do seriously.
Yeah,
But you need to get to the playoffs this year, in my opinion.
Pittsburgh could use a guy like Francona who can unlock anything in his guys. They're 35-50. All of their young guys seem to be bad, who aren't named Paul Skeens and O'Neill Cruz.
I'll tell you this right now, though, they have the least amount of runs allowed in that division.
Yeah,
The
it's
pitching
not
and
the pitching.
defense isn't bad. The pitching and defense isn't bad there. It's actually elite. The hitting is just completely terrible.
And
Like,
the road record, too. 12-29 on the
they
road.
can't- they're above 500 at home.
Yeah, that's why I said road record.
Yeah, and they cannot they're 22-37 against good teams. It's not good. Um,
Yeah, when you go up against a team that has two good hitters.
yeah, you're kind of fucked. Uh, I'll move on to the AL West. The Astros have surged ahead and taken, I'd say, a stranglehold on
Yeah,
this division, 50-34. The Mariners have bottled it, 43 and 40, 52% of their games right now, so they're close to that 54% magic number. Angels 41 and 42, thanks in no small part to Ron Washington. The Rangers continue to not hit. They're 41 and 43, and the Athletics do hit, can't pitch at all, 34 and 52.
yeah,
Me, Texas, do we need to investigate that World Series? Because these guys cannot
getting
hit.
close. It's getting
They
close. You,
cannot hit at all.
if you
And
look at the
there's
years
so much
before,
offensive talent.
yeah, if you look at the years before and the years after, it's all mid 70 win
Terrible.
teams, the same like runs scored, runs allowed, and then there's just 2022. Or sorry, 2023.
Which is insane. Which is insane. Like this is the worst title defense I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Last year we were like,
we're like,
oh,
no, there was injuries
World
last year.
Series
They can bounce
hangover
back.
happens. Older team, but no, they legitimately are one of the worst offense. Like the offense is bad. They
Yeah,
cannot score runs at all, and they are in these games too. They're in these close games, and they just can't get over the line.
yeah.
It's really annoying.
The Athletics, other than the record, they're kind of what we thought the Nationals would have been this year. Fun,
That's a really good way to
but
describe it. Yeah,
struggling.
yeah.
Like there are weaknesses, there are
But the
problems
A's
that
are
need to
fun.
be solved, but there are also a lot of good things with this team.
Yeah, when
That's what we
Kurtz is
thought
doing some pretty
Washington
good
was going to be.
stuff, like yeah, like they have so much exciting young talent that's getting better this year and improving on the fly. They're just the worst pitching team we've seen in a while.
Yeah,
Rivaled only by this year's
there's
Rockies.
if they
Rivaled only
don't,
by the Rockies this
yeah,
year.
yeah. If they don't have a significant offensive signing in the like for an offensive player in the offseason, that's fine, but you need pitching. That's all it is for the Athletics. The offense, you can leave that, you can let them develop, let them meld, let them grow together as a
Yeah,
unit, but bring in some pitching.
they need pitch. Like they need
Desperately.
legitimately six arms. Like you
Yeah,
need probably what three or four starters and two or three relievers.
yeah. You
It's,
can get lucky with some development from some guys who are struggling right now,
but
can figure it out, but that can't be your whole thing going forward. You
you
do
don't
need
want to be
to,
playing pitcher roulette in the off season, which is what they're going to have to do.
yeah, you do. You have to do something. You got to capitalize on this, what this offense is doing.
Yeah, they gotta get pitching. It's
Yeah,
that simple. Add three or four starters, add three or four
just a
relievers.
whole, just get a
Just
whole rotation
redo
in
the
there.
entire pitching staff except Mason Miller.
If
Just
you
redo the
just,
whole thing.
yeah,
Tear
the
it out,
entire
fuck it.
one half of your team, get rid of it.
The offensive half is damn decent. It's just the
Yeah,
starting pit.
and they're all young. You can expect some development, especially from Jacob Wilson. Like you think he's gonna
Well,
collapse? No.
Denzel Clark too is going to get so much better with the bat. So
Kurtz is getting better too. I think 11
Kurtz
home
is
runs his
ripping
last
the
25
ball.
games.
Butler's a stud. Like they're fun, man. Langolier, like this again. It's a fun
Yeah,
offensive team. And I will say, I think Denzel Clark's making up for a lot of their defensive lapses because they're not a very good defensive team.
no, he's got range though. He
Yeah.
has range. NL West, best team in the National League, tied for the best record in the MLB, the Los Angeles Dodgers, 53 and 32. Are we surprised? No.
Not
Second
really.
place, San Diego Padres and San Francisco Giants. They're both tied 45 and 39. They they're both playing for third place with whatever they're doing right now. Padres have no power. Giants have gotten worse since bringing in Rafael Devers. The offense is anemic. Arizona, it's getting to the point where it's time to pull the plug. Like
They're definitely
you're
sellers.
41 and
They're definitely
42.
sellers this year.
Sorry?
They're definitely going to be selling at the deadline.
Yeah, Zach Gallen, worst qualified pitcher. Brandon Pfaadt, third worst ERA among qualified pitchers. The Zach Gallen fall off is sad. Like, he was so good and so
Even I was
consistent.
actually really upset for Fat too because his stuff, like the underlying numbers on
Yeah,
it's really good, but
get
he
rid
can't
of whatever the
pitch.
pitching coach is doing. Get rid of him. Fire
Yeah,
him into the
fire
sun.
him. Take Pete Walker on. We don't want him in
Yeah,
Toronto.
these two guys should not be that bad.
But yeah, the issue. I mean, the pitching's just been completely dreadful for. It's a miracle they're at 500 with how bad their
Look,
pitching is.
it's the offense, and now Corbin Carroll's down.
Yeah,
You got swept by the
they're done.
Marlins.
They're done this year. Regroup,
Yeah,
but yeah, the
this is the
Dodgers.
story. The story of the Diamondbacks game, losing back-to-back games, 9-8, and then 8-7.
they don't know how to win. They can't figure out how
Exactly.
to win. The pitching's horrible. The Dodgers, they're firmly in control of that division. They're not going to relinquish that.
Yeah.
Uh, who's,
There's one more team here. There's one more team.
oh fuck, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, they're forgettable. Colorado, because they haven't even won 20 games. They're 19 and 65. The
And they're
226
they're
win
eight
percentage.
and 32 at home. It's
Eight,
so bad.
516 runs allowed. Oh my God.
295 scored, and they play at Coors Field. I will say, Mickey Moniak's playing pretty well there. That's
Is how
about it.
much? Let me take a look at his home versus road splits real quick,
Okay, but he's playing well. That's the only positive thing.
because this might be one of
But
those things.
no. Don't be so negative and you do this thing where I say a fun little fact and you have to do like your
John, do you
research.
want to know? Actually, he's slugging well on the road, but he's only got a 250 OBP.
Oh, it's a small sample size. Give the guy a break.
Small
But
sample size for the guy in like
okay,
his
I have a
fifth year.
question for you about the division.
Okay.
Whose offense do you have more faith in, the Padres or the Giants?
The Giants, just because they got Rafael Devers, so you think
Do you
they'll
think
take
do you
that
think the
next
Giants are
step?
going to come in second in that
Yeah,
division? You
I
think
think the
so?
Giants have the better pitching as well, though. That's the
And
thing.
do they so they make the wild card?
I'd say so. Well, because who else would the Braves are done? We're not even going to consider them.
I mean, they've got to
Um,
compete with the
well,
Brewers and
neither
the
of them
Red.
are in a wild card spot right now.
I know, which is really weird because the division's been so
Do we
competitive.
do we think St. Louis holds?
No,
Like this is such a weird team. Like I
no,
don't.
I don't think St. Louis holds, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure if Milwaukee's going to hold either.
I've got more faith in Milwaukee than St. Louis.
I'll tell you, down the stretch, the two teams who I would trust would be the Padres and the Giants.
I thought you
Those
were
are
going
the
to say
two teams who,
Cincinnati.
down the stretch. No, they're unproven. I can't trust them yet.
That's your hopeful team.
Yeah, that's like my like. I hope things go well for them,
Yeah,
But like, I'm not going to be like, yeah, like I really trust the Reds down the
that's fair.
stretch.
That's
No,
fair. Yeah.
yeah,
The AL wild card race, that's going to be a little more interesting. You got Seattle
yeah.
holding down the third spot, 43 and 40. Who's going to challenge them? No one else is above 500.
I don't think so. Okay,
Like who
Seattle.
wants it? They're
I
pro-
yeah.
who wants that spot?
Nobody in the American League wants it. That's the issue. Nobody wants it in the American League. Nobody wants to win. The Central fucking they're all trying to lose for some reason. They're playing like they don't want to win. So it feels weird, but you're like, yeah, like honestly, if Boston gets hot, maybe they take it. I don't know. But it's a complete shit show. Honestly though, if any team in the Central adds offense, holy fuck, or if the Twins add defense and pitching, like, why not? Like, here's the thing: the Royals have been a disaster this year. They're only 4.5 games out of a wild card spot. So if they add like Cedric Mullins another bat, they're right in this race.
Yeah.
So I think whoever acts the quickest and most decisive with their acquisitions is going to be in a wild card spot.
Yeah, this it's fun to look at this now, but it's going to be a whole nother conversation post deadline because you'll see
100%.
in such a close race, you'll see the better teams who's building momentum from the deadline, who did nothing, and now everyone's like, ah, damn it, we're not going to do anything this year.
And that's why I think with the American League being as open as it is, you should be going for it. You
Yeah,
should be going for it like sooner rather than later. Like to me, if I'm the Toronto Blue Jays, I'm calling about all those pitchers I mentioned. I'm calling about Cabrera, Alcantara, and Keller.
yeah. If the Blue Jays get another starting pitcher,
If they can add Mitch Keller, they might usurp the Rays even. Like the
see,
pitching's
I
been.
wouldn't. That's very confident of you, but the Rays manufacture talent out of
Yeah, but the
everyone.
Rays are very unproven, and they don't have a lot of veterans. And I'm not sure
But
if
it's
they go
the
on a
Rays.
bad stretch if they can recover.
They'll pick someone up off the street and he'll bat 300 for them.
So you're not even wrong, too. You're probably right. Oh, you know what? Someone needs to sign JD Martinez as well.
Yeah, is it too late at this point? Is he like he's
No,
just
it's
gonna retire?
absolutely not too late to sign a competent major league hitter.
I'm not I'm not saying for the teams to go out there, but for him, is it too late?
No, I if
Is,
I don't know the answer because I'm not like his agent or trainer,
yeah,
but I have to feel like there's opportunities for him. Like surely there are because any team could use it. Like Seattle could really use a bat.
yeah,
Like you know what? Kansas City, DH this fucking guy. Like Seattle actually probably doesn't fit at all, actually. But Kansas City, he fits there. like teams that need a DH, even just platoon him against lefty pitching, and he'll absolutely rip the cover off the ball.
Yeah,
Like
he wasn't
I
bad
don't know.
last year.
He was rock solid last year. Like his splits against lefties were probably really good too because he destroys left-handed pitching. So I don't know. I think it'd be really sad for him to go out like this, and I hope a team signs him.
Yeah, I don't know how much teams are willing to go out and sign someone middle of the season that isn't like some depth guy who's gonna be a quad A player because you're gonna have to build him up.
Yeah, that's probably why he hasn't signed, is because he probably doesn't want to have to go up and down. Like
Yeah,
the ideal role for him is he DHs and hits against lefties.
yeah, but you
That's
would
that's the
either
role.
way. You'd need to give him a couple weeks in AAA just to
Yeah,
get back into the rhythm.
I would say if he isn't signed by August 1st, probably not worth it.
I'm not gonna lie. I think he's not getting signed. I think
Probably not.
it's at the
Probably not.
point where teams are like, we got to build him up to this.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Like, he wouldn't if he signs today. He's not playing till after the All Star break,
100% agree.
which is
100%
fine.
agree.
But I
Yeah.
just don't know if teams are willing to put that effort in for someone who's 37 years old.
That's fair, but I don't know. I feel like he's got something left in him. I don't know.
Oh,
I,
probably based off of what we saw last year, for
I just
sure.
don't get.
That it's just like I said, it's one of
What
those
do
things.
they know that
He's
we
gonna want
don't?
to put in that
But
time.
he has enough for one good like half season against left-handed pitching left.
Yeah, 100%. It's too late,
I know.
honestly.
I know it feels like it's a bit too late, but you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. On that note, we are going to wrap this episode up. Halfway through the MLB season now. Things will start heating up now. Trade rumors. Then August rolls around. You're
Yeah,
going to have playoff races heating up, wild card races, especially if the American League continues doing what it's doing. It'll start getting more fun. And yeah, we'll see you all next week.